Welcome to A Shot of Ag. I'm your host, Rob Sharkey. I'm also a fifth-generation farmer. The farm was started to, feed people. But what if you started a farm to empower people? Today, we're going to talk with Damion and Sherri Navarro. Navarro? Did I say it right?
Navarro.
That is correct.
Yeah, just like the cartel is what you said.
Unfortunately.
If you watch Ozarks and you're laughing. You guys are from Frankfort, Illinois.
Correct.
Where's that at?
It's about 35 minutes south of Chicago.
Okay. Is that where you're from originally?
No.
No.
Indiana.
What part?
Northwest Indiana. I was originally born in East Chicago.
Yeah.
Then my father moved us to Gary, thinking it was a nicer place. Little did he know it was the killing capital of the United States at the time.
Yeah.
And then we ended up in Griffith, next door to my bride here.
I was Calumet Township, kind of like on the border of Gary.
Okay. And you guys are married how long?
28 wonderful years.
Is he right?
We got married, when did we get married? October 4th, 1997.
No, I meant on the wonderful part.
Oh,
well.
well, we've had our, I think we've
Peaks
had,
and valleys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. But you come out of the valley, that's the best part, right?
Where'd you two meet?
Back after high school.
Yeah, well, we knew each other before that.
Yeah. Yeah. He
She knew
was,
me.
Are we getting into the wrestling? Is that
Oh,
what we're
no.
going into?
Yes, yeah.
Let's get deep
I
into
did
it.
stats for wrestling one year, and he was a wrestler, and he was kind of popular.
Like a
I
professional wrestler?
In high school, whatever.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, he could have gone to state,
College.
right, or
Yeah,
college,
college,
whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know. My mind just went blank.
Oh, when you saw him?
Gosh.
Did you hear like
Oh.
the harp and everything? and
That's
the
I
Cupid?
heard all about him. You know,
Yeah.
he was on the popular side, and I think I was friends with everybody. It didn't matter what
Oh, you were
what
the
they were in.
likable
I was
lady. She was-
It didn't matter who you were.
Non-judgmental Christian young lady
Yeah.
who was friends with everyone.
And he was in a singlet.
Yeah,
He was in a singlet, and he liked to party.
Oh, that's usually a sign for party. You walk around with a singlet on and you ain't afraid of fun, right?
No, no, you're not.
Yeah.
Well, that's very romantic.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Then
we just knew each other then. We would talk.
Yeah.
She was a little strange.
It was
She
just
always
the
had a Bible
name.
with her. I always had a singlet with me. But then we met because of a pizza place, my favorite pizza place.
Which is?
It's Pascal's. It's not open anymore, but it's
It's
brothers
like
of the
a-
people
yeah.
that own Aurelio's. If you're familiar with Aurelio's. Is Aurelio's down there?
No.
Aurelio's Pizza?
No. We
Either
know
way.
of Giordano's. That's about our
Okay.
extent.
But it just had a great sweet sauce to it.
That
And-
type of the thick pizza, though, right?
Oh yeah, that's deep
Yeah.
dish.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
This
this
is
was
just
a
regular
thing with a
plain.
sweet sauce, and there was a sweet girl that had me going there too. So I was sweet on her.
Anyway, he'd always come in there. I always waited on him. I think he asked me out on a date. I did not like him. He didn't like me.
What?
But we stayed friends because
Okay.
he always
Well,
would come in there.
I think you asked me first.
I don't even remember what our first date
I'm
was.
just kidding. No, I asked
don't
you.
even remember.
I
So
try and
it
forget about you
probably
rejecting me
wasn't
that first time.
impactful.
Yeah, she found out how I was, and maybe the singlet gave her a
Lord.
different perspective. Like, wow, he must be exciting, but I guess it wasn't.
I feel like a therapist right now.
Yeah.
So how did that make you feel?
About the singlet?
I'm joking. Okay. All right. So eventually you hit it off. You get married.
We became really good friends. We were like best friends. That's when I would buy him a Bible and invite him to church, and we just became really good friends. And then we started dating, and the rest is history. It was
I
like
couldn't
5
live
years
without her.
before we got married.
Nice.
Total.
And zero agriculture experience between the both of you.
Never
Never
knew
planted anything in
no,
our lives.
Didn't know nothing about
I think I
farming.
killed a cactus because I didn't even water that right as a kid. Yeah.
But you didn't start out with the farm right away. Tell me about the environmental company.
Oh,
I was pregnant with our firstborn, who's 23 right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he decided to,
yeah. So
Open
out of
up
high
his own.
school, I made some decisions that weren't the best. So I started working for an environmental company.
Mm-hmm.
Tried moving back home, but my father said it ain't gonna be two roosters in one hen house.
See,
So-
you've got a farming reference though.
That's
so it's a precursor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my dad said it a different way in Spanish, but we're not gonna. It has something to do with roosters, you know what I mean. But no two roosters in the hen house, and so I slept in her driveway, and he said, either you get a job or you go to the military. So that day I went to both places, signed up. I could wrestle in the military and the Marines, so I figured that was my route. But I got a call within 2 hours of signing or applying for an environmental company to remove asbestos.
Oh.
So you can
Larry
be,
Grimes from Grapevine, Texas called me, and I worked in a refinery for 15 years.
so you can be the,
So I could be as best as I can. So I removed asbestos.
Good Lord.
Okay, I'm just saying, it happened.
Starting to regret this interview. We got puns like that.
So-
yeah. I apologize to the audience. Okay.
So I worked there, for many years. And that's when checks started bouncing with the company I worked for, and I knew it was my job to provide and protect.
and I think we found out we didn't have insurance,
And we
and
didn't
we were
have
having
insurance.
a baby.
So,
Okay. Well, did it worry you to work with asbestos?
No, I felt indestructible. So I was young, dumb, didn't think about my health, didn't think long-term enough at the time.
Yeah.
Didn't have anything. I grew up with nothing. We grew up on government assistance for many years, living in East Chicago. And so having nothing and having something, it didn't matter. I'd do anything to get something and provide for my family.
Yeah.
So that's all that mattered. I didn't care about I didn't think long-term about my health. I thought only about what I had to do as a husband and a father. So I took the gamble. She gave me enough courage and self-belief that I opened up my own company. And 20-something years
Holy
ago,
cow.
I opened my own company on a leap of faith and prayer and support from my wife.
Okay.
I never owned a business, never went to college.
Sherri.
Yes.
He says, I'm going to open my own company. And what's going through your head?
I was ready. I was like, good. I mean, it's a little you're scared,
I was scared, yeah.
but we can do anything.
But he's that type of guy. Because, not everybody can do that. Not everybody has the personality, the wherewithal to open up their own company and make it successful.
Well, as young as he was, he moved up on the ladder, and he was a supervisor at a young age. So he had a lot of respect from a lot of older men.
Okay.
And then there, of course, you have some that, probably weren't, I don't know if intimidated is the word or whatever, but I knew he could do it,
Yeah. Okay. So we opened this company. What was it called?
NES, Navarro Environmental Services.
Yeah. And that's what it's still called, right?
Still called,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So was it hard? In my mind, you're taking asbestos out in the Chicago area. I'm thinking that's all like, you got to be known, right? You got to be, it seems like that's all government. And were you having trouble finding jobs?
I was at first because then they forced me to be union. I wouldn't say forced me to be union, but then the union approached me and said, if you're going to do any work in the Chicagoland area, you got to be union.
Yeah.
And then it was hard because I was self-financed. I didn't have any money. So I worked. And every time I worked, I had to work a regular job and then work at my business. And, you pay off everything slowly and build up slow. But I just worked all the time. And it was hard. It was very hard. It was. So removing asbestos, there's a lot more than you think. Most of your building materials were built with asbestos.
Yeah.
With floor tile, mastic, spray on, fireproofing, siding on the exterior, cementatious siding. It's in a lot of product, It's gonna be beyond my lifetime. So commercial, industrial, government jobs. So there's a lot of opportunity out there. Still is today.
Is it really harmful?
Yes.
Okay. Because I don't trust anything anymore. So they've said it was harmful, but
It's a mineral from the earth that breaks up in microscopic fibers. And the tensile strength is incredibly strong. That's why you use it as a bonding agent. And it's indestructible. So it's great for fireproofing. But the problem is it breaks up in the little microscopic fibers, goes in your lungs and scars your lungs and creates asbestosis, lung cancer, or mesothelioma. So
You know
yes,
what
it's
I remember?
dangerous.
What?
I remember back in the day, my grandparents had this trailer, a camper, and they had the bed above the driving.
Yeah.
And they had the little white balls ceiling.
Yeah.
What is that?
Popcorn ceiling.
Is that
It's a
asbestos?
popcorn. We call it, yeah. it's
Well,
asbestos.
guess what? We would lay there and pick it. Just lay there and pick it. It would fall. We probably ate a lot of it. Now I'm realizing today how stupid that was.
Well, you didn't
No,
know.
we didn't know.
Yeah.
We used to, in high school, we had parkas, like these old parkas from the 50s, and they were incredibly warm. It could be 0 degrees. You put these out there and you were fine. Well, they were asbestos, and they were all
Lord.
falling apart and everything like that. But we loved them. So, I mean, I don't know, people didn't know.
Oh, right.
Okay, so you start this.
Started-
You said it was just you, or did you
was just
start?
me.
When did you start hiring people?
About 2 years after, when I couldn't manage the office anymore, I was just working too many hours, 80 hours a week.
Yeah.
I wouldn't spend time with my wife, my child. So I hired someone to work in the office, do the
Answer the
paperwork, and I went out
phones.
and did all the physical work, the removal. And then it just kept growing from there. So
Okay, and
now
you,
we
you
do.
had one kid?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And,
And we lived like 10 minutes away, so I would just take her on stroller walks. We'd Go
Gotcha.
see.
okay. So how many kids do you have?
3,
3. And where does your son Carter fall in?
the middle.
He's the middle
He's
one.
21 years old right now.
Okay, and tell me about Carter.
Carter was born with Down syndrome,
Mm-hmm.
and he is the middle child, but he is like
Incredible.
easygoing, high functioning.
Mm-hmm.
We've always told him there is nothing you can't do.
That's right.
Treated him no different. Yes, you might have to discipline a little differently, but when he was growing up, but literally treated him no different at all with my other kids.
So when did you know that he had Downs?
Actually, we didn't know till, it was crazy.
First cardiology appointment.
Yeah, it was like 4 months after he was born.
He
Isn't that
looked a little
crazy?
different. There were some features that we were a little concerned about.
But you know what? Crazy thing, the features resembled his side of the family.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like they all had those features if you look at them as babies. So it was like after he was born, we found out that he had, what was it, a heart murmur first?
Atrioventricular heart defect. And they heard the murmurs, and then they looked into it. And we went to cardiologists, and atrioventricular heart defect, which is it's very common with individuals with Down syndrome.
And then like the second month, they said he's going to need heart surgery.
Mm-hmm.
The third month says, oh, by the way, he has Down syndrome. So it was like, you feel like your world just crashed.
Tell me about that, because fed 4 kids, and every time there is this moment, you're like, I hope everything's fine. I hope everything's
Right.
fine. I just want everything to be healthy. I don't want my life to just absolutely be turned upside. You're just so afraid of it. So tell me about that moment where you're told your son has Down syndrome.
Well, like they offer you those tests that you can have. I forgot what it's called, something with a P, I think. But anyway, like to see if your child has something.
Yeah.
Because then you have early times you can make a decision to whatever, And we were like, why find that out? Because we're not going to do that anyway,
Yep.
I think you always think, oh, this would never happen to us.
Yeah.
Like everybody thinks
Yeah.
that, right? And then it happens. I just feel like we were, I don't know, it just felt like the
felt
world
sorry
was
for
crashing.
ourselves. We felt sorry for him.
Yeah.
We
Of
blamed
course you would.
ourselves. We
Yeah.
blamed ourselves. World was turned upside down. You didn't know what to do. So we started just doing things in fear. Like, we're going to pray for a miracle. We're going to go to Benny Hinn. We're going to go to prayer. We're going to do this. Anything it took.
Works.
I
Well,
started
it's
getting
not about
tattoos
works.
removed. Like, maybe I have curses. I did anything you could think
Well,
of.
you think, how? Like, I didn't drink, I didn't smoke. And I'm like, how does this happen to good people,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it shouldn't happen to anybody, but still, these are the natural thoughts you think. But I think I was feeling sorry for him because we don't know
Yeah.
what his life is going to look like. And I'm thinking, he has a son. Is he going to get to play ball with him? Is he going to get to do?
He's going to carry on the name.
I think it's so honest what you just said. We lost a son, and I remember thinking, this does not happen to people like us.
Right.
This,
Oh my
this
gosh.
is this is stuff you hear about. This doesn't happen to
Right.
us. But then you find yourself in that situation, and I was always curious when people found out autism or Down syndrome or something. Just that mindset. Because when you talk to people like you at this level, you're like, oh, it's such a blessing. It was a great kid in that. But initially, I gotta imagine you really struggle with it.
Oh, it was very devastating. It's like you just want to cry, and then you're like, you got to get up.
Yeah.
You got to get up, and
Yeah.
and I think the main thing was speaking positivity over him, because there's life and death in the power of the tongue.
There is.
So always speak life over him, and I would play music at night, and I would just pray over him a lot, and I would tell him there's nothing you can't do. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. you know, and I just think speaking positivity made a huge difference.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I don't even know how to transition this, but your son, I mean, that led to this farm, correct?
That was part of it. That was. We feel God planted that seed in our life, this farm, to make this happen.
Over the
for-
years, I guess that would be a good way to transition into it. Over the years, you get involved with things that, you know, we did like park district stuff. You know, you're always looking for something to sign your kid up for, and we
Yeah.
couldn't find the perfect thing for Carter because he
It's
wanted
limited.
his independence, but yet he still needed to be cued. He still needed someone there. And you were trying to give him his space, but at the same time, the park districts didn't offer someone to like coach him on the side. So it was finding that middle ground for him.
Yeah.
So after we did find a place and we got him involved in it, meeting all these families and all these kids with the same, you know, abilities
Diagnosis and,
and diagnosis.
abilities. More importantly,
Yes,
their abilities that people weren't seeing.
Yeah. And I mean, over the years, just growing relationships with them and bonding with the families and realizing there's really not much for our kids to do.
Yeah.
So as far as back as the farm, though, when you asked, did this lead to buying the farm? We bought the farm because our business is right here, our house is right here. They're 5 minutes from each other.
Yeah.
But right in the middle, 2.5 minutes away, is a farm. So I need, at the point we were doing work at O'Hare and we were doing some demo work with my company NES, or our company NES, and our company, and so I needed a place to store the steel, put heavy equipment in,
Yeah.
instead of buying a new commercial building. I found out if you buy a farm, you can give it zoned ag if it's farmed.
Damn
and
right.
you pay no taxes.
Yeah.
I'm the smartest guy in town. I got me some new space, right? So I bought it with that intent. And that's when something happened. At that moment, I'm walking through a soybean field, and I'm like, just thanking God for, you know, creating the opportunity for us to have this property. And then it hit me like a ton of bricks. Focus on other people's needs instead of your wants. I brought that to Sherri. I said, this farm is not for NES. We're supposed to do something here.
Okay, well, don't take offense, but that totally sounds like that should have been your idea. Aren't you proud of that?
Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Well-
I did go home and pray about it, and I
Yep.
woke up,
Yep,
and I was
she
like,
did. Woke
Damion,
me up.
I know, this is it on there? Is it on here? A place to grow.
Right there.
And not only is it a place to grow for our individuals, but it's a place to grow for us. It's a place to grow, of course, the crops and stuff. But even like our volunteers say, they get so much more out of it than they think we get out of it, or our kids get out of it.
We're planting seeds in people's lives, which is creating a harvest beyond what we ever imagined. The face of our community's changed. People's lives have changed at the farm. We had no idea what ag, what planting, having a sense of purpose,
Independence,
independence, confidence. Our farm does so much, and it started with ag, just as simple as planting a seed, not only in soil, but in people's lives. It's amazing.
Okay, the idea is fantastic. The ambition is wonderful. You don't know anything about farming.
No, that was the problem.
No. We literally Googled everything. I'm going to talk about prayer a lot because I love to pray.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. But I would pray that the right people would be at the farm when we needed the right people. Like God would just bring them in. And maybe they were just there for, or, you know, they were there for a reason, but also a season. I mean, it was just like, as soon as we needed something, somebody would come to, you know what, you guys should get this. And we're like, oh, let's do it. You know? And that's how the farm just grew, is
so-
by,
When we decided to make that transition, we went to a lumber yard, bought a couple $100,000 worth of wood, and
Really?
bought planting beds. Something that you could directly interact with.
Yeah.
It's tangible. You could touch it, interact with it. Conventional farming, you're hard. The machines are doing it. We can't go out and be in the field.
And they're
walk
raised
around.
for the-
So they're raised beds, so you
Yep.
can reach it with a wheelchair. You can reach it, you know, ergonomically. It's correct, so you're not bending over too much. So we have 100 and how many?
can't even
lot.
keep track.
A lot.
Yeah.
We have
We
a
get
lot.
so many people coming more and more every day. It's
so-
awesome.
That's
What are you raising?
Oh my! Any vegetable we can. So we're doing We're doing garlic, onions, tomatoes.
We were
10
trying
different
to
types of
be like
tomatoes.
unique and like, oh, what can people come to the farm and get? But
bok
like
choy
that's some
and stuff.
stuff.
Yeah.
Like it didn't work. I'm
agree
like,
with
let's just get the normal standard things people go to market,
Yeah,
like a
summer
farmer's market
asparagus.
for.
I mean, we
Yeah.
got, we got,
You know, tomatoes, lots of tomatoes.
Yeah, different
Too
types
many
of tomatoes.
tomatoes.
But we're 100% organic. We don't like putting anything in there. So we like you to walk our farm, pick it and eat it as you walk. Problem is we can't ever keep any strawberries in those beds.
Yeah, no,
Oh, yeah. 'cause
Everyone's
as
eating
soon
those
as it's-
strawberries.
Yeah.
everybody.
Might be the rabbits, too.
True.
I don't know.
That's true.
A lot of those- it could be.
So you knew when you were starting this, I mean, this is as far as like, you're not going to make money from growing food.
No.
No, you
Yeah.
know what our ROI is at our farm? You know what ROI is, right?
Return on something, investment.
Return on impact. is
Oh.
us. That's
You
our
changed
He
it.
changed it.
I s-
yes.
return on impact. And we have
Guessing he does that a lot.
I did say, yeah. So our ROI at Navarro Farm is not financially, but it's the impact in people's lives and the community. It's so powerful. Matter of fact, we just had a school out this Monday. I gave a field trip from Dunlap. or-
Dunlap.
Oh, yeah.
Dunlap.
Local, yeah.
School District
323
323 came
Yeah.
out, and they were blown away. They heard about us on a
They
farm
drove
They
two
drove
and a
from
half. Yes.
Dunlap to-
They were
They
just
were-
there yesterday.
magazine. Just there, yeah.
Huh.
Incredible people.
Yeah.
It's actually, I mean, honestly, that's great, but I'm a little sad that they would have to travel that
They
far.
said there was nothing
Yeah.
over here. Yeah, and we're getting lots of field trips. We get lots of field trips,
thousands.
lots of transition groups that come that just want to
that's-
be out at the farm.
Is this kids with
Yes.
abilities?
Yeah.
Different abilities.
Okay.
So like again after high school, what is there? So they go to transition school,
Yeah.
and that's 18 to 22.
And after that, there was nothing.
And they teach life skills there. So a lot of these kids come to the farm just to get out. They do job coaching, and then they just try to keep the kids out in the community. So they come to the farm, and then they just, what can we do? And we give them stuff to work on.
It surprises me because I don't. It's funny how what life kind of directs you to. I mean, it seems like in the last 6 months we've interviewed so many people that have had agriculture and have had people with Downs and autisms and dementia and stuff like that, and it's just every single one of them. One of the gal we interviewed, she's like, this is great, but last time you interviewed me and we got so many calls because nobody else offers this stuff. She was almost worried about the influx. There's a demand there.
Oh, yes.
What's the problem? Why aren't people meeting that demand?
There's just not enough outlets. They're not seen. So I'd put it this way, having a child with different abilities. It's such a blessing, first and foremost.
Oh, man.
People have no idea.
So much to offer.
A lot of times we're so focused on trying to teach them how to live.
Yeah.
But if we just paid attention to the community and who they are, they teach us how to live.
There is no judgment with them, and they love you for who you are. They accept you. I mean, they're
God,
the most.
I'm really bad at all those. Yeah.
You should work on that.
You should come to our farm.
It will change your life.
It will change your life. Two things will change your life: moist wipes and our farm. So I'm just saying.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Okay.
But it's just amazing, the community and how they are. We have multiple events, but we have one that, again, that'll change your life. References. What will? It's called
Farms Got Talent.
Farms got talent.
Farms Got Talent, and we let these individuals show off their talents. Whatever it is, they get the full stage, like a realistic, full-blown stage.
Semi comes in like a transformer, opens up, and they have
It's-
a world-class stage with a sound crew, a lighting crew, and they get up there and perform. We do sound checks the day
And they
before.
give it all they got. They get up there with no
Singing,
problem.
magic,
Dancing,
jugglers.
magic,
Dancing.
painting.
No, they don't have a juggler.
No, not yet.
I can't.
Not
We have
yet.
magic.
Yeah.
We had one do magic.
It's an
Our individual.
awesome thing. But that's
Yeah.
like our farm's biggest fundraiser that we have.
And that night, you will see their capabilities. You won't see disabilities.
No.
You
No,
you
it
will
will
see
change your life.
their capabilities, and that's what blows you away. And you know what's interesting? Through through what we do at the farm, it's changed a couple individuals dramatically with autism. So being on the spectrum, there's certain triggers that you have, and some of the social skills they lack. But playing with the goats, interacting with the goats, doing husbandry, they call it,
Yeah.
taking care of them, they develop this confidence to communicate We had two of them go up there and sing on stage one night. The parents thought they would never even talk to people. They barely made eye contact, got up on stage and killed it, sang some Disney song and something else.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And all that's due to the animals, I believe. You know?
We're out of time.
Oh,
But I tell you what, I want you guys to come back next week. Can you do that?
Yep.
Okay. Where can people find you? Social media, websites, any of that?
Facebook, Instagram. Those are the two main.
Okay.
I think we have a Twitter. We do have stuff on YouTube. But we need to update it.
Yeah, you do.
I know. It's really.
just call us.
Or call us, or come to Frankfort and come check us out.
Okay. Well, yeah, we've got to talk about all this
Okay.
stuff. And yeah, we've got a lot. I don't want you guys to go anywhere. I want you to come back next week, and we're going to be talking more with Damion and Sherri Navarro. The guys, thank you very much, and not just for
Thank you.
being on the show, but literally for making the world a better place. Everybody else, we'll catch you next week. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to explore more of our local content. You can connect with us on our social media platforms, visit our website, or download and watch the free PBS app. We can't wait to see you next time on A Shot of Ag.